Everyone, Karen here, and today I'm going to be making a tiered box card. Now, for the embellishments, I'm going to be using these two sets from Crafter's Companion. And I already have everything all cut and colored here, because I really want to talk about how you put this card together. So I also have a happy birthday. For the inside, I have a 3x5, and I have a 3.5 by 5.5, which is going to go on the back of the card. Now, the pieces for the card base is a 5 by 8. It's scored at 1 and at 7. I have a 1.5 by 7 that is scored at half and 6.5. I have a 1 by 7 in blue. This is going to be the water in the front. It is scored at 1/2 and 6.5 again. And then I have a 3 by 6, which we don't have to do any scoring on. I also have some 1/16 thick foam, and I have ink. I have Oasis, Baby Blue, Parakeet, that are all water reactive ink, and I have Honey Mustard from Gina K. All right, so let's get started with this. Let's start with all of our scoring. Move this to the side. Bring in the scoreboard. All right, so let's start with these little pieces here. So I have the 1 by 7, and we are going to score at 1/2 and at 6.5. And then that's just going to get folded back. All right, we have the 1.5 by 7. We're going to score that at 1/2 again and at 6.5. Those will also get folded back. Now for the card base, which is 5 by 8, we are going to score at 1 inch and at 7 inches. So that way it will fit inside a regular 5 by 7 envelope once it's folded down. And then this 3 by 6, I don't have to score anything on. All right, now let's talk about these 3 pieces here. Then are going to go in the card. Now, this is going to be beach. This is also going to be beach. This is going to be water. But I don't want these to be straight across. So I am going to take my scissors and just make some little wavy lines just across the top. And I'm going to end with a downward motion. I'm going to do the same thing with the 1.5 one. I'm going to come across. Just cut a little bit of a wavy line. Because when you are on sand, it's not flat. No ground is flat. And this just really does add something to your card. Just like that. Now the water can be a little wavier. You don't want it to be rough seas, but you absolutely could take bigger waves. There we go. So now we have our waves, we have our sand, good to go. Now I want to shade these a little bit, give them a little bit more, because when you put these on top of each other, if you don't put any ink, you kind of lose them. Even though they're going to be separated, that you kind of lose it. So you do want to put some ink on here. So I'm going to use the Honey Mustard from Gina K for the sand. Let me go on the back here. And I'm just going to kind of go across the top. And then just lightly brush across the rest of it, just so it's not the same color all the way down. Because when you look at sand, it's not all the same color. No ground is. Just go across the top one more time. Now we'll do the same with this piece. Go across the top with the Honey Mustard. Make that darker. And then just kind of brush the rest of the sand. So now when we stack this together, you can definitely see the edge, and it just makes it something a little bit more than that. That just blends in and you kind of lose it. So just that little bit of inking makes a big difference. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with our water, but obviously we don't want to use the Honey Mustard. I'm going to use Parakeet. So I'm going to bring in my brush, go across the top with some Parakeet, Go across the bottom here and make our ocean. Just like that. There we go. Now we have water. Alright, so now we need to talk about the card base. Move this to the side. So this was the 5x8 that we scored at 1 and 7. So first thing we need to do is get all this folded over. Now this very heavy paper I have is from Hunky Dory. It was sold in a set a long time ago. That was like a spacing, but I think I can get away with that as looking like water once I'm all done with this. So now I want to color this to make it look like sky. So I'm going to start off with the Oasis here. Let me wipe some of this off. Make sure I don't have that dark parakeet on here anymore. And I am going to ink all of this card on the inside. Some of this is going to get cut away, but I want to make sure it's all covered. And we don't want this very even because the sky is not even. The sky has parts that are darker, lighter. There's might be some wispy clouds there. So we do not need this to be all uniform in color. Do you want to color this side? And color this side. And I am going to cut part of this away. I'm just not sure how much I'm going to cut away yet. So I want to make sure this is colored all the way down to make sure this is going to cover everything. And that looks pretty good. So I think we're all set there. Now I just do want to bring in a little bit of this baby blue because it is a grayer blue. And I'm just going to put a little bit here and there just to give the sky a little bit more depth of having a second color in there. And that will probably do it. Alright, so we're all done inking. So now we can start constructing our card base here. So this is the 3x6, and this is going to go on the back, but I am going to put this up on foam to give it a little separation from the sky. So I'm going to go across the back here. And on the bottom here. And maybe a little in the middle. Give it a little more support. There we go. And this we could attach to the bottom. Make sure that's stuck there good. And this is 1/16 foam, but it is a 1/2 inch wide. Alright, so I'm going to hold this up at an angle. I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the card. And I'm going to lay it down. Alright. Make sure we're all good here. There we go. Alright. So there's our back. So now the next one is going to be the water, which I will get some tacky glue. And I will glue this side, the left side. I'm going to lay this down flush with the bottom of the card and put that flap over like that. And just let it hold. Now I'm going to take the blue, make sure I cut this right. I did cut this just a tad long. It's going to snip a little bit off of here. There we go. So now I will put glue on this flap. I will slide it in here, make sure I am even with the front of the card and the bottom of the card, and let that grab. Okay, now to do the other side, I'm going to lay this side down flat. Make sure we're all still nice and straight on this side. I'm going to cut just a smidge off of this. I am going to put glue on here, glue on here. Make sure we're all nice and flush with the bottom of the card. And fold this over. And there we go. Let me make sure that's all holding. And there is your basic box. Alright, let's give that a second to grab. Alright, so now I'm going to bring in my guillotine. So now we have to decide where we want to trim this. So I'm thinking, let me put this in here. I'm going to start up here at this fold. It's definitely where I'm going to start. My question is, where do I want to bring it down to? So if I want to bring it down to the front here, I'm going to bring this corner here and this corner here to my blade. So we have, I'm going to bring it down so we can see it. So we have this corner here, we have this corner here at the top. Make sure that didn't slide. And bring the blade down. So now that gives this a nice angle on the side. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. This one you kind of do upside down. So I'm going to bring this corner to my blade. I'm going to bring this top corner right here to the blade and come down. There we go. And I do recommend doing this after you attach everything, and that way you don't have to worry about matching this top part. You just put this in, put it flush, and then cut it to where the top part ends up. Just in case you don't have it lined up completely straight, it doesn't matter. It will look fine once you trim it. Okay, so now we can start loading our card. Alright, so we have the 3 houses that are going to go in the back. And then I have 2 chairs, because I'm going to put the red in the middle. And I will put the yellow chair in front of the greenhouse and the green chair in front of the yellow house. And then I'm going to have 1 boat in the front, because I will also have my happy birthday in the front. So that's the plan. So let's start with the back of the card. Now I did put this on foam, so I am going to need to put this on foam. So I'm going to take my 1/16 foam. Let me decide where I want to put these houses. I think I want to put them about here. So I will put a piece here. And I'll put another piece up above that, just so it's nice and stable. Let's see. I think that's about right. Yep, that will be good. So I'm going to put my finger, I'll turn this sideways here. So I'm going to put my finger where the top of the tape is and put that down. There we go. 1. And I will put 1 on this side. And I could actually put it back a little further if I wanted to. I don't have to put them completely straight. I can bring it down a little bit if I want to. So I think I will bring these 2 all the way up to the top. All right. Let's put some tape behind here. And some back here. And I'm going to line this up right with the top of the card. And press down. And do the same here. Line up at the top of the card. And press down. There we go. So now we have our 3 houses back there. So now we want our 2 beach chairs. They will go on the next level here. And just have to decide where I want to put these. I think I want to put them down a little bit. Like that. So I'm just going to glue these down flat. I'm just gluing the bottom of the chair. Now, you can't glue it like this. You have to kind of glue it at an angle because this and this are the two pieces that are touching the sand. So let's put it like this. Oop, I'm putting it on the wrong side. Let's put this over here. Like that. There we go. Put the yellow one on the other side. And we'll put this one over here. There, I can press down that way. Wipe off that other glue. Alright, so now we have our chairs. Now the more I'm looking at this card, the less I'm liking this boat here in the front. Because that proportion just does not look right. That looks like it should be further away and these houses should be closer. Or else it starts to look like a little toy here. And that just doesn't look right. So I think I'm going to skip the boat. So I'm going to color in the shadow that I made for the happy birthday in red. And I'm just going to put this in the front. So I don't have to color all of it. I just have to color along the edge. I could also ink this. But I'm just going to give this a quick coloring. That should do it. Yep, that will be fine. Now I'm going to bring in some more 1/16 foam, but this foam is only 1/4 of an inch wide. This will fit better behind the happy birthday. So I'll snip some of this off. Because I do like to keep foam in different widths and thicknesses, you know, because they all have different purposes. And we'll just put this piece here. We don't want it floppy on the end. Just a little bit too long. Snippy, snippy. Alright, so this will go on here. Like this. Get this lined up a little bit better. There you go. This will get glued to the front. I think I may put that on foam. Piece here. A piece here. Alright, we'll just lay this on the front. Now I'm going to fold this over. So I can lay this down, put it in the center. There we go. Now I do have these anchors that I was going to put on the back, but now I'm wondering if I should put the boat on the back. Maybe I'll put the anchors here on the front. Like that. Well, I think I will. Because anchors can be quite large. And we'll put that here. Like that. And we'll put this one going in the other direction. Like this. Make sure it's not overhanging the card. Press down. Give that glue a chance to grab. Alright. There we go. So there's the whole front of the card. Now, for the back of the card, which is where I'm going to put the messaging, I have the 3x5 and the 3.5x5. Now what I'm going to do with this, since this is kind of a a seashore kind of card, I'm going to take my little roughing up tool, can't think of the name of it right now, and I'm going to go along the paper. I'm going to rough up this paper. Now this also, you can do this with your scissors. I'm just going to drag this across. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. Just rough it up. Now the corners, you can hold it in your hand like this. Go like this. If you're not getting close enough to the corners. Or if you want the corners to be a little rougher. There we go. Like that. Now I think I will take the honey mustard and just use what's left on this brush and go around the outside of this. Just to give it a little something. And a little something there. I'll leave the center white. The blue, I will do the same thing. I'm going to bring my brush in and just use what's left on here. And go around. There. And that just kind of colors it a little bit. Gives it a little bit more interest. Now I can glue these two together. And maybe we'll see if the boat is going to find a home back here. Alright, so this will get glued like this. It says, wishing you a birthday that is like a day at the beach. Sunny, warm, and relaxing. Alright. Now this will go on the back of the card, like this. And since I have the boat, I think I will put it on here like this. So I will move this up a little bit and put the boat down here. Alright, so we'll put this closer to the top of the card. And the little boat will be down here. Now, sometimes when you start on a card, it doesn't go completely as planned. You can just change it up and it all works out in the end. There we go. Push this all down. There we go. Now we have this little box card. Just like that. So we used the 3 houses, the 2 chairs, the anchors, the happy birthday, and then the back, we put the boat on the back instead. And when it folds flat, it does still fit in a 5x7 envelope. So I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.